Police Minister Bheki and the National Police Commissioner, Fannie Masemola, meeting with the family of the slain Namhla Mtwa in Mthatha in the Eastern Cape. It follows a protest, a group of people who protested against gender-based violence in the area. They want justice for Mtwa and other women who've been killed by men. The protests say they're unhappy with the Mthatha police's response to these cases. Our reporter Sipha Kema there for us. Now, Sipha, good afternoon to you. The Minister and the Commissioner, have they been able to actually discuss and properly understand the concerns of the community there?
Well, what they said, Stephen, is that it seems as though that they have, what the minister could tell us on this particular case, Namhla Mtwa's case, of course, was that the discussion between them and the family for now will be kept confidential. However, they did meet with some of the officials from the Eastern Cape, the top policemen in the Eastern Cape, such as the Deputy Commissioner, as well as the Deputy Commissioner of Investigations as well, and also, of course, the Brigadier Kinana was also sitting in that meeting, where they were giving them, of course, just a briefing during a closed session of some of the issues and concerns that have been raised by the community members, more especially yesterday. As you know, a memorandum of demands was handed over to Deputy Commissioner of Investigation, Ncedo. Of course, he accepted that from the leadership that held that march yesterday on behalf of the community. Now, what they said was they are currently rolling out a plan where they want to ensure that most police stations in the Eastern Cape, he named quite a few places such as, Lusikisiki, which is known as South Africa's rape capital, standing at number one, of course, in the country. Also naming places like Willowvale. All of the places that he named, including Mthatha, form part of the former Transkei, saying that they're starting bit by bit, starting in Lusikisiki, to comb through the police stations there, investigating the allegations that are made by communities on the inefficiencies of the police stations. Now, we're going to talk quickly to the EFF's Gender-Based Violence Desk. That's Ncedo Kolanisi. Now, Ncedo, of course, they've been on this story and also gaining momentum as well on the march that occurred yesterday. Now, are you happy? You sat and you stood there listening to what the minister was saying about, apprehending Namhla's suspect, the gunman, and as well as her boyfriend on the suspicions that he could be behind her murder, but also on the issues around the police stations in Mthatha. Were you happy with what was said?
Thank you. Let me first address this intellectual bankruptcy of our Minister Bheki. I thought when he was when I heard that when the family informed us that he's coming to visit the family, and then we decided that the family wanted us inside, and then we decided that let us just let them speak. We mustn't always be the bridge. We must let them assume their own space. You understand? But I thought when he was coming out here, he was going to announce that the perpetrator of this vile crime is arrested. And then I thought that he was going to tell us as to what happened to the investigating officer that was actually given the docket. You understand? But instead, Bheki came here and wasted the state's petrol and came here in front of the cameras and acted like a celebrity whilst our people are dying. Because last week, if I'm not mistaken, Friday, we had another shooting of a female, which is the lady from the Tuchana family, and we are still looking into that, and we are watching it with an eye of a hawk. I'm not happy at all with what he has said. Nothing makes sense with what he has said. You understand? I fear that we are facing another Senzo Meyiwa case, where we are told that we can't disclose this, we can't disclose that. In honest fact, we have lost all confidence in the police. They must regain their confidence with us. They must tell us at what stage are they in, who is the person of interest at this point, and what is being done. All we have seen is that the family is the one that they're giving statements, and then no other witnesses are being brought forward.
Now, of course, besides that, we all heard yesterday Kumkani Uyelekaya Delingebo talking to the crowd, saying that if this perpetrator is, of course, Major Mfesana Bheki is not apprehended by the police and they are not able to do their job in 3 days, that was yesterday, then he urges the crowd to go and actually burn everything down to the ground at his home, and saying that they should also go and burn down the Nyala. Now, the reaction from the police minister is that Kumkani Talingebo has been behind bars again. He knows what it feels like to be there. Does he want to go back there? What is your take on that?
Well, it's normal. It has become a norm, a uniform for the police to actually threaten those that stand up to criminals. You understand? In actual fact, the king is a leader of society. He's a leader of society, the Abatembu nation. This happened in his backyard. Namhla was like a child to him in terms of being a citizen of Mthatha. You understand? The king was speaking as a parent that has lost a child. The king was speaking as a king, as a leader that feels that he's helpless, you understand, in this situation, because this pandemic of gender-based violence is...
Do you agree with the call that he's made?
Well...
as the EFF, of course.
The EFF has a leadership, you understand. A formal statement will be given as to what we are saying about that. But as for me explaining how he feels right now is what I can give you right now. The king is a leader of society, you understand. When we went to invite him to the march, he had already told us that he's going to invite himself. And then at the same time, there was a lady that was going out to the police station, you understand, to get the case number. The lady had actually gone to the king's place to report her boyfriend that is beating her. So the king is not only talking far, but he is on the ground as well, witnessing these things. So the king is not saying that the alleged perpetrator is the one that killed Namhla or not. That is immaterial right now. We know for a fact that the guy has been abusing Namhla, and he should be the person of interest right now. So we can't... Cele must not fault the king for what happened to Namhla. They must start by solving this investigation first before attacking the king.
Thank you so much. That's Ncedo Kolanisi from the EFF as Gender-Based Violence Desk, of course, giving us their input as well. I mean, as you know, that they're the ones who initially started and rallied the community behind the multi-party protest that we saw thousands taking part in, which was eventually joined by other parties coming together, the ANC, ATM, UDM, DA, Democratic Alliance, Action SA was also part of that, as well as NGOs and civic groups were part of that march to the Central Police Station, which is the bigger police station in Mthatha.
Sipha, Kema, thank you very much indeed for that live update there from Mthatha. You know the feelings of people in society on these issues.